Firefighters remained on scene last night, making sure that the fire was doing what we wanted it to do. We have been able to finish bulldozer line around the entirety of the fire perimeter. However, wow, I need to get my brain cells working this morning. Crews were able to construct bulldozer line around the entirety of the fire perimeter last night and increase containment to 20%. The difference in those numbers just means that we aren't 100% positive that that bulldozer line will hold if pushed by active fire behavior later in the day. Crews today are going to work on mop-up and containment activities. That means they're working along those bulldozers to make sure that any threats to the line are as contained as possible. The weather really helped us last night. We did get up to 100% humidity and saw gusts to increase to over 20%. Our humidities are supposed to stay over 60, so that's good news as well. But we are expecting to see smoke in the fire area throughout the day. Evacuations do remain in place for residents that are in between Alum Creek Road and Cottletown Road along Park Road 1C and Go to Your Trace. Firefighters know that keeping the residents out of their home is not ideal, and we are making plans that we, depending on fire behavior, we hope throughout the day we'll be able to relay what a return to home will look like. Yep, I think that's it. Yep. So the areas that remained closed are along Park Road 1C and Go to Your Trace, and that's in between your west and east roads. Your west road is Alum Creek and your east road is Cottletown.
So currently there is no specific, timeline for those people who can return home. That's going to be more specific later.
Timeline for return to home is greatly dependent on fire activity today. We are expecting some pop-up thunderstorms and that cold front to return, or a cold front to push through. So depending on what that fire weather does will depend on our timeline for return to home.
Are you keeping all of the crews that are presently here, or some of them leaving?
We had a flush of resources come in both from your local emergency responders and from Texas A&M Forest Service last night. Most of those crews got off the line past midnight last night, are returning to scene this morning. Crews are coming in from other areas across the state as well. We also have aviation resources on standby in case we need them today, including the local aircraft that's at Smithville Airport.
Any structure damage?
We're going to be evaluating homes today that had structure fairly close to them. We will have news hopefully by early afternoon on any structure damage.
Okay, so you can't confirm if there's any houses that were damaged or anything?
Can't confirm if we are not expecting a large number. There may have been some outbuildings, but all of that happened fairly late yesterday, so we just want to make sure we're confirmed on what is actually out there.
Can you
Do you know what caused the fire yet?
No word. No word on official cause just yet.
What about the evacuees? You have a number on them yet?
Initially, there were over 60 homes that were evacuated. That included a lot of residences that were along the southern portion of Alum Creek. There was no road closure there last night, and many of those people did return home. The number that are currently evacuated is approximately probably just about 20 to 25.
Could you explain the difference again about bulldozer lines and containment lines? What that main difference is?
Yep. A containment line is either a road or a constructed bulldozer line, usually, where we have a very high level of confidence that if a fire was to push that containment line, that it would hold, that fire would not be able to cross it. A constructed bulldozer line is just that. It's a path through the woods. We may not have full confidence that that line would hold if a fire showing active fire behavior were to come up to that bulldozer line. So crews today will be spending a lot of time working along those bulldozer lines to make sure they hold, and that's when you'll see us starting to increase containment.
Are there any services, mail, Amazon, stuff like that, that's impacted by the fire?
The rural area of this fire means that mostly we're dealing with private citizens. There was some power turned off, and in some places remains to be turned off, but those are 2 private residences.
You guys face any challenges today?
The challenges today are going to come from our weather. With the pop-up thunderstorms potentially, we're looking at gusty and erratic wind, and that can lead to the fire doing things that are harder for us to anticipate. So we're going to be spending a lot of time this morning before that cold front pushes through and the thunderstorms are expected to pop up, making sure that our lines are as secure as possible.
What do you want residents to know who got evacuated?
One more time.
What do you want residents to know who got evacuated?
That's a good question. For residents who have evacuated, fire managers would like you to know that we know it is difficult to be away from your home. We are doing everything possible to get you back into your house as quickly as possible.